I'm with Sunil Gupta, co-founder, MD, and CEO of Yotta. Hi, Sunil. Thank you so much for taking the time. It was a wonderful session, and like you can see, people are just waiting to talk to you. So I wouldn't take much of your time, but so just now, like as we were discussing, a lot of things have changed over the last 2 years in terms of people adopting AI and the need for data center.
Yeah.
So where is Yotta in all this equation, and what's happening?
So essentially, we are at the foundational layer, right? While India had got so much of talent, and we have seen that over the last 3 decades, that give a problem, and India will have a talent to solve that problem. Whether we are solving that problem or finding a use case in India, or whether we are solving those problems for rest of the world, India has always been a tech champion and a mathematics champion. Uh, what was lacking and why India was not coming to its logical place in the whole AI ecosystem in the world was that the compute infrastructure was not available. The same fundamental problem which India faced in internet era, that while India had consumers, India had sorted the device issue that we have smartphones, India sorted the network issue, we have 2G, 3G, 4G and 5G. But what India was lacking way back, I'm talking about a couple of years back, was the real high quality data centers were not there. India is solving that problem for the last couple of years, and today we can say we already have become the third largest in Asia, right? And a fairly good amount of very high quality data center exists in India. So we are hosting almost majority of our content in India now. We are at the same stage in the AI era now, that we have got all the use cases, we have got all the talent, but what we don't have is this huge compute infrastructure, which is needed for people to process those data sets, to make those, the models, to process those complex algorithms. So, and in case of GPUs, it's not like that you take few boxes and you can do that. You need like thousands of GPUs, the top GPUs, you want to connect them to high-speed networks. So all those elements need to be in place. And to do that, of course, you need to have then huge, massive amount of data center and power and all that stuff. Because we were into this whole data center and cloud business by default, and I've been building sovereign cloud for quite a lot of time. So it was very logical for me to up this game and get in the GPUs also, right? So that from a stage where people are not having any GPUs to a stage where people start having GPUs in abundance, that any and every use case can be handled in India itself, and that is what the role we are playing. And yes, in the last 1 year, the long time, I would say in the last 6 months itself, I've seen so much of change in the whole ecosystem in India. Practically, I can say who's who of India's Gen AI ecosystem today are running in my GPUs, and I can just see their demands just growing up and up. Yeah.
But do you see that then we will be able to address the GPU shortage? Like now, say in India, we want to develop more companies coming up with AI model, but there will always be that gap, right? In terms of the demand will always be higher than the.
See, I tell you, first is I would say we have solved that issue, I think, in a very, very big way already. Today, it's not that GPUs will be available or not. I am talking about GPUs are available now. You want to have them tomorrow, please start using it. So it has actually become like what we say is that electricity tap or a water tap on your home, that you open it up and you start getting the benefit. Now we have tried to bring, and that was our dream, that you bring GPUs as a commodity. This issue of lacking of compute infrastructure is not there at all. Now, yes, there is a fundamental issue that globally, there is a demand of GPU is far exceeding the supply of GPU. There's a logical restriction on how much NVIDIA can produce, how much TSMC, which is their foundry, can produce. So there are logical restrictions, and of course there are some of the highly saturated markets, developed markets, which are gobbling up majority of GPUs. But I would say that like many other technologies which you have seen in the past, that given our sheer demographics, our population, our digitally enabled population, in any technology, India has taken, after adoption, very few years to become the number 1 or number 2 in the world, right? You see social media, you see mobile, you see 5G adoption, you see anything. India practically has become number 1 in the world within few years after adoption. So we see the same thing, and I see the world sees the same thing happening in India. And that is why I would say even the focus of companies like NVIDIA and others will be, or have come, right, big time on India. they are putting strongest commitment. In fact, I don't know whether you noticed or not. Not only last year, Jensen Huang made a commitment to Prime Minister Modi that even though I may have a shortage worldwide, but I will make GPU available in India. And he actually fulfilled that promise. That's how I got my GPUs. And just 3 days back, you must have seen Jensen Huang in the meeting with the Prime Minister. He specifically mentioned Yotta as their partner. So essentially the commitment from technology providers also is high. So whether we putting in our bet in keeping on bringing more and more GPUs as India needs, and also my backend supply chain also keep on supplying me the GPUs on priority compared to rest of the world. I think this issue is past India now.
So in terms of partnerships, so right now NVIDIA is like a top player.
Yep.
But in the long run, are you looking at even other partners like it would be?
It totally depends on the customer's requirements. See, ultimately, we know NVIDIA is the king right now, right? 90% of the AI, especially the training market, actually is owned by NVIDIA, right? But yes, the market does require the GPUs to be available at lowest possible price points. Market does seem to give feedback that possibly for inferencing, they can possibly use NVIDIA GPUs as well as, let's say, the GPUs, let's say, from Intel or AMD. There are some very exciting startups in the world who are also coming out with their own GPUs. So I don't see a possibility where I will not be putting in those. The basic infra is there, the basic skill sets are there. We are in touch with the other providers as well, but it is a logical time to see what market demand, and as a service provider, I'll make everything available. Yeah.
And Blackwell GPUs, is it on the way?
It is a logical progression, right? At any moment of time, you would like to be at the top of the curve because that is what the market will start demanding. Today, H100 is supreme. Blackwell are yet to be delivered to the world. It was supposed to be delivered in February, and I think NVIDIA said that they are 3 months behind.
Yeah.
Behind that, I can only say that as and when we demand it, we will be the first one to get it. And that is the commitment for NVIDIA. And we are in talks, for sure.
That's amazing. And just one thing on, say, in India, the AI mission that's happening, and I think recently you partnered with Telangana government as well. Are there other state governments that you're looking at where you want to expand?
So I tell you, the way I take it is like this, that India overall will need thousands and thousands of GPUs, right? You start adding up the various use cases. And we can just imagine that India will cross US, right? Mark my word, in the next couple of years, in terms of the whole AI ecosystem use cases. So naturally, this infrastructure will have to go multi-fold. Today we talk about 4,000, 10,000 GPUs is a very big number, but within 2-3 years, even 1 lakh GPUs might not be enough in India, right? And that type of capacity build will be required. So what we are trying to do is, yes, I will keep on putting these GPUs in my existing data centers to bring them to market as fast as possible. But there are state governments, right? So there is a central government, METI, Ministry of Electronics and IT, who have put this India AI mission in place, right? Again, to promote, various facets of AI ecosystem, whether it is availability of GPUs on a very highly subsidized rates to startups, which is a big part of the India AI mission, or whether it is making sure that data ecosystem, so the various data sets are available in a public marketplace, or whether it is funding the startups, whether it's funding the education institutions for various skills and courses. So they have got various angles. The government of India is obviously doing their bit, and they are doing it fantastically. But what I have seen, which is a great, I would say, endearing thing to know, is that various state governments want to, and you can see that from various facets of industrialization and development, various state governments are now competing with each other, which is the best thing to be seen in a federal structure. So I can tell you right now, there are more than 7 or 8 state governments who are actually talking very seriously about creating something called, in their own language, they call it AI city. They are allocating large pieces of lands. They are willing to give those land parcels practically free of cost to companies like us. They are giving you power connections of very, very high power. They are willing to give you power at subsidized rates. They are giving you capital subsidies if you bring GPUs in their data center. So all those discussions are in talk with various state governments. Yeah. Obviously, Telangana, like in many other facets of technology, they have always been ahead in many, and they have been first. So while the talks are on, but a very formal MOU and the start of the work obviously has happened with Telangana, but you surely will hear about many such engagements, in the near future.
So how soon will we hear? Any timeline that you can give?
For
the other state governments that you...
Well, I think it totally depends on the speed. Like, again, I can see possibly after Telangana, some of the states have increased their speed of doing this. And because we have already done it, And we call it that, in the whole AI system, we are coming across as a company which starts with concrete, land, building, power, and we end to cloud. So I call myself a concrete to cloud company. So essentially, give a land to me and I'll directly create an AI factory there. So we are practically at the forefront of most of these engagements. So I can for sure say in the next couple of months, you'll see at least 3 or 4 such engagements coming out.
Yes.
And because India needs so much of GPUs, there's no point in just putting them into one data center. So I'll put it on my data centers in Bombay, Delhi. And tomorrow, if I also create a data center in Telangana or also in Lucknow or also in Bangalore or also in Bhopal, I think India needs all that, all of them.
And anything in Bangalore that might come out? Data.
Well, I don't deny the possibility. Frankly speaking, I would say a very strong possibility of doing that simply because while Bangalore has always been a startup capital for last so many years, in fact, now I cannot call startup like the IT capital of the whole country. But in terms of the AI startup ecosystem, Bangalore is coming at the top in there, and then you are seeing possibly a Pune or possibly seeing a Delhi or other cities. So Bangalore has come out to become the hub of AI, development already. So it is, while it does not really make a big impact whether you are putting the compute in Bangalore or you're putting it somewhere else in India, but possibly, because again, I'm saying in any case, I have to develop compute. There's already some very good quality data centers in Bangalore. I, in any case, going to expand as a DC operator. I need to keep on making my DC capacity everywhere in all the major cities like Bangalore. So I don't deny that possibility. There will be strong chances of me doing that in Bangalore as well.
Just one last question. How are you finding Cypher 2024?
I think this is, as I said, it is fantastic. I mean, in 3 days, first is 3 days, which means you have not cut short on the time. You are giving enough time, for people to come and consume whatever they can. Second is you are creating parallel sessions, and if you just go through the whole agenda across sessions, I think there's no single facet of the whole AI ecosystem which you guys are leaving. You are getting the best of the experts, from educational research institutions to government officials to startups to universities and to schools to industry to service providers like me. So I think you're covering a whole lot of topics, agendas, and getting all the stakeholders. I'm really very, very impressed. And if you just go into any of the halls like which I did today, every single hall is full. So I think that speaks volume of that this event is very, very successful. And congratulations to you all for this.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Nice talking to you. Yeah.